I am your host, Austin David Coffey, and I am the production manager for Samurai as a Sound, where our goal is to kickstart your voice acting career. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to chat with some folks in our community who will be showing up any minute now. And we're going to get caught up. We're going to learn about what some of the upcoming events are with some of our educators or some of the top names in the video games and anime world. We will take a look at more specifics here in a minute, but I just wanted to hop on a little bit early so that I can catch everyone as they come. Our emails have just gone out, our invitations. So we'll get some people here. I see Andrew's coming in. Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good.
Good to see you.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I meant to there's something I need to send you. We can actually so as far as getting your cuz I know you're looking for to get your home studio kind of set up, right? So we can produce your demo reel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can send you our package for which is sort of like a bundle demo reel and sort of the Sweetwater sound package. We have it all kind of in a bundle deal. I know that it wasn't working if like getting the invoice just for the Sweetwater bundle wasn't a good fit for how your pricing is structured, um but we could actually just send you the demo reel and home studio bundle.
Okay.
And that could be something that might be easier for you to get done if that sounds like
Okay.
a good option for
Yeah.
you.
I mean, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay, so I'll make a note to do that then. I just want to check up with you about that because, yeah, once you have your home studio up, because we can get that start thinking about that
Yeah.
demo reel, right?
And I can use that for my voice acting and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, could you send the invoice to Gene about Karen Strassman's private training?
Yes. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me about that. I will make a note to do that.
Because she was asking me about this week. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah.
I will. Let me write that down.
Okay. I also have my private training with Raj this Friday.
Oh, good. How's that been going?
Good. We're just trying to finish up with the voice acting no wait. The what's it I forgot what's it called? The voice acting demo?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
trying
your
to
demo
finish up.
reel.
Yeah, we're trying to finish up so that way I can use that to apply for my voice acting job.
Yeah, you can use that to start. You can use that to get onto the various online auditioning platforms, and then you can send your voice acting demo to various agencies, right, to get an agent,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
they'll look for jobs for you, and you'll they get a commission of whatever job you book. But
Hmm.
that's one way that a lot of people will go about it.
But
Quentin,
in
welcome, Quentin.
uh,
Um, I'll get to your question in just a second. I think Andrew, do you have any follow ups on that?
in the meantime, I'm gonna work at Panera Bread next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I can use my money for my independence and possibly get my voice acting job too in LA.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Quentin had a question. I would like to know how to get voice acting jobs. Great question. That's definitely something that is always on our minds. So essentially, you'll need to come to a place in your training where you feel confident to record your demo reel. You'll need a voice acting demo reel to reliably get started. Otherwise, you're sort of just kind of fumbling around. But once you have your demo reel, you have something that you can send to get onto these online auditioning platforms, and also to get an agent who will start booking gigs for you. Another question: how do I start a demo reel? So we can help you with that. We have a demo reel package. There's different ways to go about it. You can just get the demo reel, which comes with a couple of consultations with us where we talk about your direction for the reel, whether you want it to be character, commercial, narration, and then we'll write your scripts, and then send them over to you. Once they're approved, you can record them, or you can book another consultation with us and record on call, and then we'll send you you'll send us the audio, and we'll edit it together, comp your takes together, and fully produce it with music and sound effects as needed. You can just get that package. Some other ways to do it: you can get the membership. Our membership has different ways to do it. If you get the black belt, you can get the demo reel included in the price. And then you also get a year of twice monthly private trainings and 8 of our workshop tickets. We'll talk about what some of the workshops are coming up, but that's a good way to do it. If you get the white belt membership, you can get a pretty big discount on the demo reel as well. So Quentin, let me ask you this: were you thinking about becoming a member, or just getting your demo reel, or do you have questions about what goes into the membership? Goes into the membership. Okay, I can show you that. You change here. Oh, let me plug in. And then let's see. Speaker? No. Sorry, give me 1 second. Spotlight for everyone. That's what I want. Okay, can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Quentin had a question about what goes into the membership, so let me go through that real quick. Okay, so Quentin, let me ask you this: do you know anything about Samurai as a Sound? Have you been? Do you kind of know who we are, what we do, who we work with, or is this kind of like your first time? No, I don't know. Okay, great. Well, welcome. It's always nice to have new faces. So this is our website, and we're basically a comprehensive training and career development package, and we work with the biggest names in video games and anime. So that's Kira Buckland from, Nier Automata, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Richard Apcar from Cowboy Bebop. Oh, you love anime? Okay, good. So you're in good company then. We work with Morgan Berry from Pokemon, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn from Naruto. So these are some of the big names that we're happy to partner with as our senseis. And the way that we pretty much so we have all these workshops, right? But the way that we pretty much offer it all is through the Samurai as a Sound membership. So there are here's what some of our members are doing, like William O'Fabe is voicing for My Hero Academia, and so on and so forth. But the membership comes in 3 different tiers. So like I was saying before, if you want to get pretty much the most out of everything, it's actually the biggest discount. It's a bundle discount. You can get the 1-year black belt, and that comes with those private trainings. And those are important if you are just getting started as a voice actor, because you're going to want to come to a good place in your training before you produce your demo reel, because you don't want to have to produce like more than one if you don't need to. So you can train with us all year, and then by then you'll be like, okay, like I know these are the scripts I want for my reel. Yeah, Quentin, I know you've got to run. Let me drop you a link to book with us one-on-one. So go ahead and use that link. Open that link up before you go, and then you can use that to discuss further with discuss your demo real further with our team. Okay. Let me know if you've opened it up so I know that you got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, just you can just book a meeting with us. Of course. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. All right. So that was a good question. Let me bring us back here. I see some other familiar faces. Welcome back, AJ.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. Letting some more folks in.
Oh, hey, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the recording event tomorrow?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about it. Actually, Scarlett's over here making a social media post about it.
There she is.
They're saying hi. So yeah, tomorrow, let's see. Let me get the time.
I think it was 6:45, it said.
I think so. It is kind of a strange time, but yeah, I think it's 6:45. Let me get the email pulled up so I get all the facts straight.
Yeah, 6:45. I got it right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and so that is going to be a recording session with myself and Karen Strassman for the second episode of Echoes of Eternity. She plays a pretty big role in that episode. And so it's a good chance for... Oh, Andrew says that means it's 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Yes. Yeah, 6:45 Pacific is 9:45 Eastern. But yeah, that's tomorrow. It's free to tune into the stream. We're going to be live streaming it. And so it'll be a good opportunity to see how a professional voice actor who's got, lots of Hollywood credits and anime credits and will, read scripts and get into character, possibly take direction. And you'll basically just see her in action. It'll be pretty fun. I'm excited for it. I'm pretty excited because I just love working with her, and I always learn a lot from doing that. So if you register for the event, you'll get like an email reminder.
Yeah, I already got one. Yeah.
Okay. I will drop a link. I will drop a link to register for those who have not. But does that kind of give you more context or answer your question?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask because, part of the Echoes of Eternity teams, I just wanted to get some more information. But okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Austin.
And for those of you who don't know, KJ is the voice of one of the main characters in episode 1, Bodha. So he's the voice of Bodha in the first edition of the first episode.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch Karen do her thing and get some more knowledge. Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, of course. And I'll drop that link here.
I see we have some old and some new faces, or either faces I'm not aware of.
Welcome back, JC.
Oh, hi. Do we have some... I don't know if I'm familiar with Jacob and Chloe.
Oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Jacob V. Hill. I just got the invite like this week, so.
Well, welcome over here. It's nice to meet you.
Awesome. Yeah, lots of new people. This is fun. Jacob, can you tell us about yourself? About yourself as a voice actor or
I am a SAG union voice actor. I've been in the job for since 2019. I started doing a lot of English dubbing for Netflix and Disney Plus, Amazon, and a bunch of stuff like that. I did my first animated film in 2022. and I've just been trying to learn more. You know, haven't had representation this entire time that I've been in the industry, so I've been trying to just build network and just get to know the people who I haven't met yet.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about your process with the union, joining the union? How's that been for you?
So when I first started, it was a lot of non-union stuff. Then they asked me if I was SAG, and I told them no, but they wanted me for this project, so they Taft Hartley'd me. They gave me a 30/60 to work, and after 3 or 4 like different projects, they were like, "Hey, listen, man, you gotta join, or else we can't work with you anymore." I'm like, "Oh man." So luckily, I had the money saved aside for that specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried so hard not to join union as early as I could have,
Mhm.
because it does kind of close out a lot of other opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
like with non-union stuff, especially nowadays, like after the whole thing with like the strike, like I couldn't work if I wasn't non-union. I couldn't, during the video game strike, there was a lot of things that were still like put on hold and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a process for sure. I would, if I had to do it again, I would try to get representation before.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's been fun. Like, I'm glad I got the experiences that I did and the people that I've worked with, and there's still people that give me auditions to this very day.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I always love hearing how people's viewpoints on
Yeah,
the
and
union.
that's exactly why I'm here. I wanted to learn more about what experiences other people's had. Like this is my first time meeting you, Austin. So very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I see some other. I think I recognize Raven. Have you been here before?
Yeah, this is my third time here.
I thought so. Yeah, welcome back. How's it been going?
Thank you. It's pretty good. I just moved to Vancouver. Funny enough, I actually started a school course for voiceover work, but I'm like, hey, might as well be here as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just started going to On the Mic. I don't know if you've heard of them. Um, but yeah, and I got a microphone and I not don't have a spot to put it yet, but I'm gonna get there eventually. So
Very cool. What kind of mic did you get?
I have a Rode NT1A
Mm-hmm.
and a Scarlett Solo 4th gen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Nice.
Scarlet Solo Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm running on right now.
Michael Walter has a question. What's the status on the VGA strike?
So they came to a close on it, but now they're asking for a little bit more for like compensation for hours and stuff like that for like the behind the scenes people. So like all the editors, all the audio engineers, stuff like that. But as far as like I did get like a thing that said this is the last day to vote. But I can't remember exactly when the deadline was today. Oh, the finish line,
Yeah.
July 9th at 5 p.m.
Partially over the AI, KJ. I mean, yeah, that is one of the major reasonings right there because remember, when you have corporations like Disney and you have corporations like Warner Brothers who don't want to pay their voice actors, who want to try to find the cheap way out, despite the fact that Warner Brothers and Disney are sitting on a load right there. And that's what it is right there. They're not running out anytime soon, but they are, depending on how they treat their workers. So that's the problem right there. They want to find a cheap way out of things, and that's why with this, they risk losing a lot of their voice actors to Eastern productions in Japan or South Korea because of the fact that they actually are loyal to their contracts, they are loyal to their payments, their mandates, and all this stuff right there, and they will put the art before how do I say this? They will put the art before the payment.
Well, it's also
And-
a problem for. Sorry, I didn't mean what was the word? Interrupt you. But the main problem is that even if we do go to the like Asia and stuff like that, and go to our Eastern competitors with like different media and stuff like that, it's also a majority of like those video game actors are SAG, so they can't. I don't think there's really a different gateway to do other things like that, because that's why they're pushing a lot for stuff to be brought back to the States or being brought back to LA in general. Because I've also seen there's like another like passing of like bringing filming back to LA and stuff like that.
Depends.
Though I do think it's it's like it's a double-edged sword in my opinion, because like we want to have people who are in other different areas of the world to like experience their crafts and stuff like that, but the people who just are here in LA, there's like it's very small, and if you know people, you're already kind of in a good spot, but if you don't know anybody and you're kind of just in there for the wind, it's difficult for sure.
Yeah,
But
and I can understand that, but it's like with our Eastern competitors, the thing they do is they actually value the law over there. The problem is we can, in America, the UK, and Canada, we always find a way to loophole the law. Like, however this, however that. And that's the problem with these people right there. They don't value the law. They don't value, how to say, it's the copyright infringement, plagiarism and all that stuff right there. While as over
Yeah.
there, in Japan or South Korea, if you do plagiarism or if you do anything right there, you get a heavy sentence for that right there. And that's why some people like to voice act in countries where the law is reinforced heavily into their favor, so that way they don't do stuff right there.
yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a perfect utopia, but I'm saying in certain cases, like if you ask Raj, who he produced the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack and he was a voice actor, and even Austin right here, they have lots of laws that help protect voice actors because they value the craft over the money first. Because if like you can't have money if you don't value the craft first.
For those of you who don't know Raj, he's the creator of Samurai of Sound and the owner of Strawberry Hill Studio, where I'm sitting.
And he also made the OST for Cowboy Bebop and for Cowboy Bebop Live, and lived in Japan for quite a long time before he came over.
I figured that was the same strike, but thanks for sharing the information, Jake. I didn't know there was more about the editors and people behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it's been there's been like a lot of things, because there's also like it's kind of like gearing towards like what happened with like the union strike beforehand, with like everybody in like the different unions and stuff like that. What is it? Not SAG-AFTRA, but it was you know what strike? You know what union I'm talking about, right?
The Writers Guild, that one?
Yeah, the Writers Guild.
Yeah.
Because
Guild one.
Trying to use AI to replace writers, which you cannot do.
And
Too many
that's-
strikes, man. Too many strikes on the dance floor, if I could say that.
Well, they
Yeah.
got to happen because, you can't.
No,
just
they got to happen
things
for
stay
sure.
happen,
It's
yeah.
just it does really affect the people who are striking. Like they're really sacrificing a lot in this strike in order to make things right. And sometimes it's just like it feels like an uphill battle a lot of the time.
it does
That-
feel like an uphill battle, but remember, if Warner Bros. And Disney don't have their voice actors, and if they see that people are dissatisfied with their work, then nobody's going to want to work for them. They lose money, and basically, after they see the decline of their quality right there, it's a lose-lose situation for them. Whereas, like if I'm tired of how they treat me, it's like, okay, fine. At least these people will treat me with respect. Okay, fine. At least this company is honest with their policies. So that's what it is.
totally fair.
I wanna shift gears a little bit, and Jacob, if I could pick your brain a little bit more. You said you've been working in union as a voice actor for a few years, and you don't have any representation. So how do you feel about? Are you at a place where like you maybe are looking for some, or have you specifically been avoiding?
Oh, I'm
that?
definitely looking for some, because I will say that I did join a representation December of last year, but they were the agreement was that they were going to be SAG by the end of this year, or
Well,
they were going to be SAG by this year. So I signed on their agency because they promised that they would be SAG by this year.
Mhm.
It is July, almost halfway through. I would say through this year, maybe even more. And yeah, they haven't been SAG, so I am looking for representation.
Mhm.
I've been emailing a bunch of people. I have the system of like emailing emailing every week, and then doing the the updates and stuff like that whenever I can.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
It's complicated because doing like a dry email has always been tough. I try to go to boutiques, but boutiques are not always SAG. So when this one was like, we're gonna be SAG by next year, I'm like, oh, this is a boutique agency, and I was like, this is like something that's gonna be hungry for work. So I was like, yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
But luckily, I didn't sign a non-competitive agreement, so I can go to any other agency with this agency if I did want to.
That's good. That'll keep it real flexible for you.
Read your contracts, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Read your contracts.
KJ has a question. Representation means agencies. Yeah, representation is in, getting a
Yeah, so agencies, managers, managers gonna be a more personal forefront for you. They want to see an exceed in like your future, like going forward. They're like a longevity type thing is what I've come to terms with. But agents are just like, let's get you work, let's get you running, let's go, 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 go. So I can get paid, you can get paid, and we're both happy.
I assume you can read the comments too.
A little bit, yeah. Let me see. Sorry, I didn't know it was the Q&A.
Yeah, well, we put you on the spot, but I appreciate
I
you.
appreciate all the information, Jake.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to help out anywhere I can.
Yeah, someone who's in the union, been doing this for a while. Thank you. It's all good information. Yeah, just to learn.
Of course, yeah.
Jacob, I was talking to Raj the other day. I remember how this voice acting problem stirred up, and it turns out it dates back to the point of Robin Williams, where Robin Williams didn't want credit for Aladdin. He just wanted, $10,000 something dollars, and that was it because he didn't want to steal the show. And then eventually, long story short, he got mad with Disney for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's nothing wrong with an A-list celebrity being a voice actor, but then it's like when you have other voice actors trying to join in, it's like it could sort of create this contention right there.
Yeah.
And when we look deep into it, eventually it leads up to the AI, it leads up to all the stuff right there because they realize they're paying a lot of money for other people. I'm not saying I would see these movies. I mean, yeah, they're amazing movies.
Yeah, no, of course. I would say that A-list actors, more or less, with their being casted into animation, the main priority for them is going to be the money. It's going to be how are we going to get how many seats into the theater as quick as possible. And normally that main solution they're going to try is getting an A-list actor. Now, when it comes down to quality, I would say it really depends. It can vary because there's some good A-list actors that are some seriously good voice actors. As you said, Robin Williams, he didn't want to be the main attraction, but he is one of the main attractions, and he couldn't deny that. But if you guys remember, did you guys see the Ketchup Entertainment's The Day the Earth Blew Up?
I think.
Yeah, I saw that. I was online.
That was Eric Bauza and a bunch of other great voice actors, not A-list people. These people, he's now getting into the limelight a little bit more, which I'm very, very happy for because I feel like sometimes voice actors don't get that voice a lot. But these were the same people that we admire, we study, and they get their box office hits, and we see the quality that they put into the work as to a Funimation movie that has 6 different AAA actors, that make 10 million every day,
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that it really all depends on the quality to the person who is doing the voice.
Absolutely.
We can't alienate all the A-lists,
Absolutely. It's like we can't alienate all the A-lists, but we don't want to have the Aquafina effect.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Michael,
No,
I
I
see
get
you've
that.
got your hand raised. Do you have a point you want to interject here?
I would like to. Who here has watched documentaries on Disney movies? Because I remember watching one of them. There's a really great documentary on Beauty and the Beast from the original, where they have an entire mini documentary on the beauty of voice acting. And what I loved about that documentary, because it brought out how even though now we have many celebrities doing the voices, back when Disney was doing voice work, back when Walt Disney was casting voices for his animated movies, there were other people who were naturally trained using their voice, who've come from radio or even from the studio themselves. Walt Disney himself was the voice of Mickey Mouse for many years before he passed away.
That's very true. That is very true. I remember seeing that he would recruit these voice actors himself.
Well, you guys also remember that the main people who started out with cartoons were radio voices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When radio died out, who took their place? Cartoons. And where did all the radio people go into? Hanna-Barbera era. They went into Merry Melodies. They went to these cartoons because they had the voice. Radio, if you guys ever listen to radio plays, they're phenomenal. My favorite one is going to be X-1. I totally recommend it. But during that era of the radio, they took these big names, these people who were in love with their voice, and they brought them into a whole different area. They were scared, but they were ready for it. So I feel like that's kind of their thing right now, is what they're kind of seeing it as. Like, oh, well, AAA actors, they're good on screen, but what about their voice? Everyone knows their voice. So maybe we can use their voice as something we can market. And I feel like that is also, that can join to the problems, to the situation of like, we're only hiring A-list actors. We're tired of seeing Crispy Rat in every single animated film. Mel Blanc is a great one, Andrew.
Yeah, Mel
Absolutely.
Blanc. Yeah, he actually did a wide variety of voices. I mean, we could be talking hours on.
Oh
what
man,
he's
the dude came out of a coma doing his own voices. We could talk to him. We could talk about him for ages.
Oh, Mel
I
Blanc.
love that
I love
man.
Mel Blanc.
Mhm.
Absolutely. The man of a million voices every time. And even though some of them were sped up, he still had everything that was just so unique to each character that
I actually met Charles Martinet. He was very nice. Fun fact, Charles Martinet knows Spanish and French, but he never knew Italian as Mario. That's the ironic part.
Eh.
But I do remember he was promoted to the ambassador of everything Mario, and then he hired this one guy, I think Afghani, to do the new voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi.
Hey,
So
Kate,
personally-
I just wanted to jump in and make sure you, I know Kate was asking about updating her stuff before getting representation. I just wanted to make sure you got my message here. We have a link to book one-on-one. We can talk about updating your demo reel if you want to get your demo reel updated. I wasn't sure if that's what you meant or not, but I just wanted to check in with you about that. Your audio's a little quiet. I'm not sure why.
Here, try now.
Oh, yep, you're good.
Perfect.
Yeah, sorry, it's my earbuds.
And welcome
but,
back, by the way. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, I did make a animation in a video game demo reel, and in May I got to do the open auditions at Anime Central for being Zoom, which was a lot of fun. I didn't get a call back though anyway, but I still had a lot of fun.
Awesome. So were you thinking about maybe updating your demo reel, or taking another look at the scripts, or?
Yeah, well, I still need to make like a narration stuff since everyone says that's where you get most of your work.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you already sent two, Justin? Nice. But yeah, I think now that I have an animation in a video game one, maybe I can start at least trying to write to places, but I'll need to make a commercial demo reel since that's where the money is and most of the work comes from.
Yeah, we can definitely help you with a commercial reel if that's something you're interested in. You can just use
That'd
that.
be awesome.
If you want to discuss it further, you can use the link that I sent you to book one-on-one. Usually it's with Raj. Sometimes it's with me. We can talk about the different ways that that we can do the demo reel.
That'll be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Was anyone else interested in the demo reel? I know we've been talking about it a little bit.
Oh yeah, so I am signing up for the demo reel with Karen. So so that way I do my accents demo, because I already have the character demos. Accent demos will be a very good secondary choice. So that way I can get myself out there.
Yeah, and Karen would be great to direct that reel. I mean, she's done a workshop with us just specifically on accents and dialects, so definitely in her wheelhouse. Yeah.
Austin, I had a question about that too.
Mhm.
I don't know if I asked this already yet, but like, because we're talking about multiple demos. If you're a black belt or red belt member, how many demos did you say that you guys produce again?
For the black belt membership, you get one demo reel included in the cost of the membership.
Okay. Which one would you recommend doing first, like out of characters or narration or commercials? Like, I'm just curious.
Well, it depends on where you see your voiceover career going, but we generally do we produce a lot of character reels is what we do the most of. But you
Mhm.
know, as Kate mentioned, the commercial reels can lead to a significant source of revenue as well. But we generally will kind of decide between, we kind of carve it up into three categories: character reels, narration reels, or commercial reels. So narration would be if you want to like get into like audiobooks, for instance.
Do you
Um,
have to have music in the background for it to be considered professional?
well, I would say that definitely for character reels, you want to have music and sound effects. For commercial reels, you want to have music in the background. And for narration reels, usually some music, but I wouldn't say it's strictly necessary. But through the demo reel package, we take care of all the music for you.
All right. And
Mhm.
yeah, like, is the demo reel package, does that include Karen's or is Karen something separate?
Karen's is something we added on recently. If you want the demo reel directed by Karen, it comes with 2 hour-long sessions with her, and that one is separate. But you would get, as a black belt member, you'd get a big discount on that one if you wanted to do that one instead of the industry standard demo reel package.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still working with Raj on mine. So, okay, thanks for answering the questions. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Jacob, I know we've heard a lot from you, but I'm pick on you again. Where's your do you have a demo reel, or did you use a demo reel to get
Do
into the industry?
yeah, I have a animation demo reel, a commercial demo reel, narration, and video game.
Wow. Very cool.
I may have to update them like fairly soon because they were like some of them are like a year old, so I'd like to try to update them at least with every couple of years so that when my voice, changes, I guess. Or I just feel like it feels too solid. It just doesn't feel too solid enough. Like it doesn't feel like it's where I am artistically.
Mm-hmm.
I want to change it. I do most of them at my home studio because I got the green light from an audio engineer that said this was a good booth. So I learned how to do all the editing myself and all the audio mastering and stuff. And I've been making my reels for the past like 2-3 years.
Very nice.
I would
How
just
do
say
you-
less the consumption of dairy. Sorry.
How do you go about selecting your scripts for your demo reels?
The one thing I always say is that your character has to like realize something, or it has to be like a certain switch, because there can't be just there's got to be something that goes with peaks and valleys. There has to be like something that gives you an objective to like end, even if it's like halfway through a scene that you're like writing, like you could be halfway through a fight, you got to realize something and that changes your direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I always say look at markets of like what you want to market, like what your voice markets. So like if you have different voices and you market to like different, like if you want to do genres of like fantasy or horror or children's shows, like you want to be as versatile as possible, in my mind at least. So I'll get peaks and valleys of different genres as well. And I would like to usually try to keep it within like, because usually the reels are like 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So I try to do like 10 seconds each of the character. So in that 10 seconds, you really got to sell it.
Yeah. 10 seconds, I would say, even is pretty long for a character. We try to squeeze them in 5 or 6 seconds, and you gotta, like you said, you
Yeah.
gotta tell that story, that complete story, in a very short amount of time.
Some I give a little bit longer, and then some of them I give like the 5 seconds, 6 seconds, just like if it's something that, needs that story, I guess, to like kind of prove the voice, I wouldn't say like, no, I'd say like prove the voice, but like, I guess just let it lie where it is. And then give off like certain other different characters for different genres and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I just wanted to thank you so much for that input, Jacob.
Yeah,
For
of
those of
course.
you who are new to Samurai Sound, I know we have a lot of new faces today. I don't know what I did differently, but if you haven't checked out a little bit about who we are, the services that we offer for voice actors, you can do so at this link in the chat. That'll take you to our membership page. We do workshops. We'll talk about what some of the upcoming workshops are, and then we have our membership, and you can get a discount on the workshops through that. I guess I might as well just talk a little bit about what some of the workshops are before we get otherwise occupied here. Let's see. next month, at the end of next month, August 27th, I will be doing my recording and editing for your voice acting demo reel workshop. So I've done this one once in the past, but we'll go over a lot about what we've been talking about this evening, about how to figure out what reel you want, how to write scripts for your demo reel, and then we'll take a look at some of the scripts that we use with Samurai as a Sound. To oftentimes it's like a starting point or a basis for writing different script. We write original scripts for every reel, but we'll take a look at some of the ones we have in stock, and you'll have a chance to record those, and then I'll show you a little bit of editing, some of my editing practices in Audacity for like comping and editing together, voiceover, and then we'll talk about like what it means to how to add music and sound effects that contribute to that story that you're telling. So that is the workshop we have coming up soonest, and then like I said, that one's on August 27th. We have actually Karen Strassman will be reprising her anime dubbing workshop. That will be probably in early October, but we don't have the date pinned down for it yet, so I won't make any promises about the date, but we are scheduling another one.
Part 2.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, from what I understand, people got a lot out of the last one, and it was a good experience. So
Yeah, it was a good experience. What about Wendy Lee as well?
Wendy Lee, that was a good one too. That was earlier in April, I guess. We don't have anything on the books for Wendy in the coming months, but you can access the recordings for all the workshops we've done with her in the member library.
Because I wouldn't mind doing a part 2 because that was very good.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's good. And then a few weeks after, in late October, Karen Strassman is doing her Creatures and Monsters workshop again. That was a really fun one. We like to do that one Halloween time because it's just a fun time to do it. So that's coming up, and then a few weeks after that, we have Andrea Toyes, who's the casting director for Blizzard, for titles like Diablo, World of Warcraft, StarCraft. She will be giving her casting director for a day workshop. So Justin says highly recommend Karen's workshops. I do too. I love working with Karen.
Yes. I can vouch for that.
I'll send a link to register for her Creatures and Monsters if anyone's interested. And again, through the Samurai as a Sound membership, you can get a discount on that as well. Let me make sure I'm caught up here. Kate says it has been a bit discouraging since I had to move back to Chicago from LA. So I'm trying to figure out the market here, hoping it's not as competitive. Yeah, you can speak more to that.
Yeah, what happened was I moved out to LA to attend the animation school I was at, and I was working for the studio, but it got really expensive to live out here since it depends what work goes into the studio, and I've been trying to make connections in the voiceover field. But I moved back here like October last year.
Back to Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, moving to a new place, it's always a little bit slow and discouraging to get started making those new connections, but just keep it up. You it takes persistence, as we've heard with Jacob, sending multiple emails to people and following up, and it's just a whole process, but you got
no rest for the wicked.
but you can do it, right? Stay persistent.
There was something I was learning last week from my Sistema instructor. He did state we can't always control what others do, but we can control what we can do right there. And that's all we can do. We can better our craft, regardless of how good we are. There's no issue in always wanting to achieve the best results out of yourself.
Of course, yeah. If this is not fun anymore, if this doesn't seem like you're having a good time, it doesn't look like you're having fun anymore, you're not gonna feel like you're gonna, you're not going to succeed as much as you will having fun. Every audition, and I try to go to is that is basically just like if I'm not laughing or I'm not smiling at the end of it, or if I'm not whistling or like singing to the audition, I feel like I'm not going to get it. But even if I don't get it, then it was just at least a fun experience. That's something we can control. The emotions that we put towards our craft, the emotions that we put towards our work, not the actions of others. It's hard to realize though.
That is true. That is true.
Well said. Well said. I want to check in with some of the people we haven't heard from, to see if any questions have come up in the last few minutes for you related to what we've been talking about. I see Igioma's here. Welcome back, Igioma. It's always great to see you.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
I saw you submitted your voiceover for the second episode of Echoes.
Yeah, because like it said it was due July 8th, and I was like, what? So that's why.
I
Is that
appreciate
true?
that. It is true that that's what's written. We're still piecing
Okay.
together episode 1. It's been, as you know, there's oftentimes delays with that process. So we're not in a super huge rush to get the voiceover for the second episode, but I'm super
I'll get on
stoked that you did.
Thank
it
you,
anyway,
Igioma.
Raven has your hand raised.
Hi. Jacob, I had a question for you. I was wondering, seeing as you are actively in the business, what was your process to getting started? How did you get started?
It was pay to plays for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I also did behindthevoiceactors.com for like a bunch of free stuff. I tried to do everything to get myself in the booth, because even if I didn't have a booth at home, I was going to put a blanket over my mic and I was going to make it happen. Because I came to LA to get my bachelor's in fine arts and then get a minor in voice acting. Like that's why I came out here to do and
Fair
so
enough.
I'm really
Blanket over your mic.
Yeah.
Doesn't that
Look over
oh, so
and just
it's not
hold it right here,
touching your mic
and you
though?
got it right here. There you go.
It traps the sound, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a makeshift. Like how if you go to a hotel, you can put a couple pillows here, a couple pillows here, one in the back, and then you put a little comforter on top, and you got a little makeshift.
Jesus, that must get really fucking warm.
Ooh, trust me, this one gets warm. I have a
Yeah.
little like thermometer thing. I always ask myself how hot is the booth today, and it's like 89, 90 degrees. Actually, let's play that game today. How hot is that booth, ladies and gentlemen? 92 degrees. Oh goodness. But I guess the way I started is like just pay to plays, and then I was lucky enough to get into databases around my area. And these databases will call you when you are needed. And one day I was needed for this project called Mortel. It was a dubbing project for a French television series. And I got to audition for the main role.
Oh, so just like local people in your area that are like directors, producers,
So
etc.
some dubbing studios, if you're in LA, they have databases that you can log yourself into. You can send all your stuff that you have in there. And they'll call you if they think that you specify something that they would like. I was lucky enough to get that audition, and I was lucky enough that the other guy called in sick from that audition the same day, because I got the call just like an hour after that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's how it kind of started. I almost didn't go. I thought it was a scam, because there's so many scams out here. And I was like, what if it's a scam? And at the time, my friend was just saying, what if it's not? And if you go, it's a learning experience. I'm like, you know what? You're right. And so I thank my friend for that every single day.
Wow, what an amazing story.
And there is a way to avoid scams. There's VPNs as well.
That's true.
So once you get burnt once, you don't want to get burnt again.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got burned by. If anyone's ever heard of 99, don't do it. I got burned by them. So
No, when they start asking you, oh, well, for this agency, you're gonna need new headshots, you're gonna need a new reel. Don't worry, we have these guys that they're perfect. They only cost like $300. I'm like, no. Once you start asking for things, that's a no.
What was 99, Raven?
it's one of those places that masquerades as like a studio or a casting studio. They're like, oh, we cast for all these big movies and like TV shows and whatever. Just pay us $100 or $200 a month or whatever it is or whatever. Pay $100 to sign up and you'll be in our database, but we won't give you anything. We'll just take your money monthly. And I was like, I saw that once. It was like a Zoom call too, and they had like their front office person in the Zoom call like this, and there was hundreds of people there. I was one of them, and it was she was totally professional. It was really really good. Like she was completely convincing and everything. And then I had the database, I had the link, I ended up paying for it. Hundreds of other people did. They probably made like tens of thousands of dollars that day. And just from scamming people on that fucking website. And it's called 99. If you ever get an email from them or you ever see an ad for them on social media, fucking block it. I know I'm sorry for the swearing, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying
No,
don't do 99.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might happen if it's targeting people who are interested in voice acting.
Well,
it can
it's
happen.
targeting everyone, like for everything. And here's the thing, you can look up their social media pages, like their Facebook page has 125,000 likes on it. Like it's a friggin' big like they're big, and it's the biggest, probably the biggest, one of the biggest acting scams, or if not the biggest acting scam in North America.
Wow. Good to know.
I'm gonna write that down. Thanks, Raven.
No problem.
And you were talking about how to say is your voice late earlier. I was remembering advice from Joshua Seth that to lower intake of dairy, because dairy does mess with your throat a bit, especially when you're sick. So it's like lower your intake of dairy, because of the fact that you don't, especially when you're about to voice act, because you will see this with singers, you'll see this with lots of people who do this stuff, to lower intake of dairy, because of the fact that you don't want to sound stuffy or congested
Oh,
when you're
absolutely.
doing that.
Same thing with coffee, because it dries out your throat.
Good thing I
So
don't
you
drink
don't want to
coffee.
drink coffee the day before you do an audition or record something.
It's usually why I drink ginger beer at times, because ginger beer helps with a lot of like vitamins. It clears out my throat. It helps me when I'm sick as well. Not to mention ginger beer has a lot of vitamins and a lot of good cancer preventatives as well. So that's why
Try that.
I don't. So that's why it's like I don't eat cheese or dairy before the day of auditioning or doing voices right there.
Fun fact, did you know that if you use barbecue potato chips, it'll stop the smacking noise when you're recording? So that it'll stop that happening. Because I learned it from Debbie Derryberry from her book, and I also did some classes with her. She talked about these like barbecue potato chips. If you eat a couple of them, it'll stop the lip smacking
Oh wow.
during recording. So the
Yeah,
more you
that was
know,
a big
where's
that was a
the-
big problem for me for a while.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
We've done a few classes with Debbie Derryberry in the
I
past.
love Debbie. She's so great.
How do you spell her last name? Debbie DeBerry?
Debbie Berry, just like Berri. She's the voice of Jimmy Neutron.
Oh yeah, I remember. I was going to ask, why did Jimmy ruin the life of Skeet? I'm telling you, it's like long story short, he turned to a killer machine.
KJ, I see you got your hand raised. You got something?
Oh yeah, just a general what if question to anybody here.
Mhm.
What if you wake up with a random sore throat and you're supposed to record that day? Has anybody encountered that? That's got to be a really big killer, right?
Use ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
Hmm.
I also saw someone mentioning throat coat. Michelle, yeah.
Alkalol.
What is it?
Alkalol. It's a throat rinse, and then Entertainer's Secret is also something that I use. It's a throat spray. You can find it on the Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on any site, honestly. But alkalol is like a throat rinse. It's an older herb medicine, but it works great. I've used it a couple of times. And then of course, tea, obviously, tea, lemon, and honey.
Awesome, thanks. Just wondering. Yeah.
Also try to like always warm up before auditions and stuff like that. One new one that I found was from James Arnold Taylor, because he was doing like a vlog in his car on the way to an audition. He started showing how he does his like voiceover warm-ups while he's in the car. He looks ridiculous, but it works. And I'm like, I should try that. So every time I do an audition, I'm driving or I'm in the booth and I just go and I do that. You should check it out. His YouTube videos are fantastic and they're very informative.
Who is this? One more time.
James Arnold Taylor. He's the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Johnny Test. He did Plo Koon in Star Wars: The Clone Wars as well.
He's Ratchet and Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, there you go, Katie. There you go. Bunch of other great things. The Titus Laugh from Final Fantasy.
He is Titus.
Mm-hmm.
And I did meet Greg Berger. I did meet Greg Berger, who did his father Jack, and he did Grimlock as well.
Oh, I love Grimlock.
I wanted to drop this link in the chat for tomorrow's event, in case you guys some of you weren't here earlier. You can register free for just to get emailed about the live stream tomorrow with Karen Strassman for our recording session with her.
So what is Echoes? I've been hearing a lot of that during the session, and I'm just I've never heard of it before.
Think of Lord of the Rings meets Witcher.
Oh,
in that sort of sense.
Cool. So are you guys writing and producing this yourselves, or?
Yes, through our studio, Strawberry Hill Studio, we're writing and producing our own visual novel called Echoes of Eternity, and
that's awesome.
It's the auditions are open to our Samurai Sound members, of which many are present, and basically, yeah, it's like a high fantasy story, and it'll be distributed through our platform.
Well, that's awesome. That's amazing. I love to see that people creating their own content, because sometimes when jobs aren't around, that's the only thing we can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
just get put some people's resume as well. Sorry, did I interrupt?
No. Yeah, if you just keep an eye on your emails, you'll see more information about it in the coming weeks.
Cool. This is very exciting for me. It's my very first meeting with everybody for Samurai Sound. I've gotten so many emails about you guys. I've gotten so many things about like on my feed about you guys, and I was like, I got today off. I want to see what's going on here.
Thanks for joining us, man. You're sharing some great insight. Seriously.
Well, thank you. Thank you guys for giving me, opportunity to meet you guys and like know your guys', places. So,
no
Samurai
problem.
Sound seems very, very beneficial to everybody to give more information and to get, actual chances into the industry. Instead of just flying blind, you at least have like somebody to kind of give you the right steps, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well said. I'm glad that all comes across from the outside. That's always good to hear, and the perspectives that you've provided as well have been incredibly insightful and valuable to everyone present, I think.
Just always trying to help. I like the Charlie Chaplin method of the industry. If one succeeds, we all succeed.
It's true. Yeah, when I was going to school, one of my professors said that it's not people that succeed, it's networks.
Exactly.
Similar way to say the same thing. Let's see. I don't know if we've heard from everybody. I'm curious if Tomisha, are you there? Maybe, maybe not. How about John? John, are you there? If you are, welcome. Maybe we're just listening. Maybe it's our podcast.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
I
is a
always forget to
podcast.
check the stream chat as well. Hopefully we haven't been getting any. Oh, of course we have.
Okay.
Tamisha, yes, I'm here. My phone. Okay, now we have our roll call going. Yes, I'm here. My phone has been killing me with audio today. I know it happens. Oh yeah, Chandler's on the stream here. Oh, interesting. We have a question from the stream.
Oh,
It might be a little bit old now, but does anyone start a podcast to practice and find your voice? Anyone been found for VO work because of a popular podcast?
I wouldn't say from podcasts. I'd say from like media creation in general. Like, but I feel like podcast is a good start. Like, if you do like a radio show, maybe there's some ways to like push yourself into the industry for that. Most of the people that I know that have podcasts also do YouTube videos, and they have like content like that kind of been pushed into the VO industry. So it could be done, could be possible.
Yeah, and then she clarified her question. Actually, Carly Girl, she's here with us live. She's saying been hired for VO from their podcast. Yeah, I don't know.
That I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's a good question though. Are you if you're there, Carly Girl, are you thinking about starting a podcast, or do you have a podcast that you're working on already? Seems like she's commenting in real time.
I remember Joshua Seth also has a podcast as well. He would usually say, think of something to always talk about, always have something to talk about, make it interesting, always be sure you have a subject, and be sure you know how to grab someone's attention with that. Because Joshua Seth has a podcast where he interviews different voice actors throughout all the different genres, and that's how I got into that as well. Joshua
Oh
Seth.
man, if you want a podcast, Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson, easy.
Talking
it's like, be
Tunes with
sure.
Rob Paulson.
Yeah, Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson is a great one that I used to listen to all the time. It was during like the iPod day, like like iPod podcast, and then they had his own website, and he got it back into YouTube, and now it's on Spotify.
Let's
It's a
see. I
great
saw
source.
Chandler come in. Welcome, Chandler, straight from the stream to the Zoom meeting. Welcome.
I mean, yeah, I usually lurk on the Twitch anyways, so thought I'd pop in, see what's up. Why is it always when I'm, popping in, y'all are always talking about demos? It's almost like Destiny or something.
It's an important part of the process.
It's a big roadblock that beginners face.
No, I know. I've been in talks with Austin for a good while and trying to get the demo made, so need to get it done.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will.
Yeah, I have some demos, but I don't have any I don't have music or sound effects added to them, and I'm just like it's just me talking. I have a commercial demo and a voices demo, and I'm just like, I can't send this off to anyone or put it anywhere. I'm just like, "Ugh."
Yeah. It's only as good as far as you can share it with people confidently, professionals in your network. So if you're looking for us, if you want some help with it, we can take a look at it or make you something new or whatever you want. You can use that link to book with us. We can talk a little bit more in detail one-on-one if you want, but you can use that link to book with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one you just posted?
Yeah, I just posted. Yeah, 618. That's our one-on-one consultation link.
I mean, from what I've heard, you only get one chance to do a first impression. If you send a bad demo, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. That's what you want to avoid.
Unfortunately, that's true. It's that first script, that first, that first script where you really have to sell a lot about your unique value proposition as a voice actor in a very short period of time. You want to set yourself apart, right?
What was it that casting directors only listen to the first 3 seconds?
Yeah, they're going through a lot of these demo reels. So
Yeah.
the first script's got to be good. It's got to be you, pretty much, and it's got to be good. It's got to be original enough to set you apart, but not like just strange and off-putting at the same time, right? So, and if it's a character reel, especially, a lot of that is, well, it starts with the script writing, right? And then, of course, your VO performance. Those are the two biggest. But then the music and the sound effects often will kind of synergize with all of that to create this. You want to create a story in like 1 second. It's kind of hard to do, but that's what we focus on, is trying to cram as much of that storytelling in when we think about writing scripts for demo reels, for instance, and that's also how we approach our, especially sound design too, for character reels. Yeah. I like to, Jacob was saying earlier about, I'm just thinking about demo reel scripts now, about how the character realizes something. That's a good way to think about it. I often think also in terms of one character. I always think of in terms of one character is addressing another, and they have a relationship with that character, right? And that should be immediately apparent based on the verbiage that you're using in your script. And that you should like, we've done like action. I've done a lot of action scripts in the past, like a fight scene, like an anime fight scene. And you want to have those, expressive, like, whatever it is, the sound effects that they're making with their voice. But you want to remember that it's not just about fighting. It's about convincing. You're trying to convince another person of your point of view, and you're interacting with that person. You're not just making noise, right? So that's a little bit more that goes into writing those scripts for especially character reels. I'd say writing commercial reels and narration reels is a bit more straightforward because you're not focused so much.
A little more. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then with the character, it's not, you can't just think you're acting, you have to be that character. Like if you look at the play, what's it called again? Pagliacci. That play is actually based on actual events. They will even tell you right there, these are real emotions by real people right there. Because the stage director based on a case that his father did, that his uncle did for two clowns that one of them, unalived their wife for committing adultery, and that's what happened right there. And that's where, if you look at Pagliacci, it's basically the sad clown. It's also the inspiration for the Joker as well, basically, because it's like they said, real emotions by real people. That's how you really set an impact right there. And when I look into it, there is actually truth to that. Because obviously people who act with these sort of things, they've actually felt these emotions of happiness, sadness, and all that before. So
I just wanted to check in with Carly Girl, who's tuned in here, but she had the questions about the podcast. She said she's planning one out, a subject dear to my heart, about encouraging people, which is nice. And then she had another question. She says, "Oh yeah, I have a great character kid voice. Oh yeah, great character kid voice I want to use if I'm programming or in games and animation for kids. When you create your own character voice, how do you keep ownership of your character voice, especially for kid-centric voice work?"
Probably have to get Stephanie Nataloni for that one.
Keeping ownership of your character voice.
I've heard that if
interesting.
you can publish like your own work, that helps protect your voice. Like I'm not quite sure how it worked, but like
Oh,
for
you're
other,
thinking of like legal ownership, huh? Yeah.
I don't know,
is
that's what
true.
she's talking about, but that's just one thing I heard.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, like if you could just publish your own work, because that way then at least you own it.
True. True.
That is one way to go about it.
We have a few comments here in the chat. I will go ahead and share that. I don't think I shared the one-on-one consultation link in our stream chat. So if you guys have any questions about anything you want to talk in depth, you can use that link. Oh yeah, and she clarified, Carla Girl, yes, legal ownership. Keeping ownership of your character's voice. So I'm just trying to understand the question, I think. Like the style of delivery, like you're asking if you can copyright that? Let me give the Zoom link too in case you want to join. We still have 5 minutes we can make use of.
Yeah, there is a way to do that, I think. I could be wrong because Stephanie and I think she talked to me about it, to make your voice sound like no other, to stand out from the crowd, to stand out like a sore thumb. So that way it becomes harder for other people to try to replicate.
It's good advice. Who is that again, JC?
Stephanie Nataloni, the voice of Kid Goku. She voiced Kid Goku, she voiced Kid Gohan, she voiced she also did how to say this? She was also in OKKO. I met her in real life. She was very nice twice already. I even had dinner with her. She was a very, very nice individual. She started in a band as well. She was even on Joshua Seth's podcast. She was actually the first guest that Joshua Seth had. Stephanie Nataloni, the voice of Kid Goku, and now she's voicing in Dragon Ball Daima. So, and I was talking to her way before she never thought she would do Kid Goku again, and now here she is doing him again. And it's like, I told you, you would. Because a lot of these voice actors can be a blueprint for a lot of other voice actors, but some of them can't always do it like them. Like Stephanie Nataloni. Like when I told Terry Hawks, I appreciate her being a blueprint for a lot of Sailor Moon voices. Some people always feel like they should have made their voice a little more unique, so that way they feel like they would be the only one hired. But at the same time, it just depends about how you go about it. But for me, I would say just make your voice stick out like a sore thumb.
I would also say that the voice can be pretty recognizable to other things. It's just the way that you deliver it. The way you deliver things are not going to be the same as most others are going to deliver it. Because casting directors are going to hear the same thing over and over again in the same British voice with the same different lines. But if you are to, I don't know, put some peaks, maybe even slow down a certain word or focus on pinpointing one particular sentence in the script, they're going to look at it and be like, that's something new. That's something we haven't heard about. We're like that. Let's get that, because the same voice is going to happen, especially with legacy voices, everyone's going to be like, yeah, what's up, Doc? Like, they're going to hear that thousands and thousands and thousands of times if they're going to look for new bugs. But if they can see somebody either form that character and be that character, or they bring a little something different to that character, that's when they're going to be like, that's what we want right there. It's not about the voice being the same. It's how you're going to deliver it that's going to make it more unique.
The impact.
Exactly.
Well said. Does anyone have any questions for me or for anyone else for that matter? Maybe in the last few minutes will come up before we close out this session here.
When is our next D&D?
I am still working on putting those on the books. Thank you for reminding
Y'all play
me.
Dungeons and Dragons?
We do.
Let's go.
It's a simplified version for to focus on voice acting and improvisation, and we
Oh wow, that's
yeah.
actually really cool. I
Sounds
never thought about
fun.
it like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. I wish I could give you a link to the next one, but I don't have it quite scheduled yet.
Oh, it's all good.
I'll try to have it. You know, if you just keep an eye out on your emails, we always send them out when we schedule them. So,
Gotcha.
okay, let me see. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the chat here or the stream. Oh, Carligo just updated. Yes, say I use my favorite character voice in someone else's content. I don't want to be told I can't use it in my own content. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't worry about that if it's just a delivery and it's not like a character specifically. Like if you're not portraying a copyrighted character, like if it's just a style of voice that you're applying to a different context, I don't think you can. No, I don't think people can tell you can't do that unless you like signed a contract and that was in there. I don't know. It depends on if it's like really. It just depends on the project. I think if it's a smaller project, I wouldn't worry about it too much, unless it's really gonna make them angry and you like them as a client, you want to keep working with them, but. I don't know. I think I would need to know more information.
Always
to
read your
answer that.
contracts.
Read your contract, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and then the next person says that I missed a question. I know because I had to refresh the page and it deleted the questions. But anyway, I did leave you guys the link. I think I've left the link in the stream and the Zoom if you want to follow up with us one-on-one. Otherwise, we're here Tuesdays, Samurai is a Sound Tuesday Community Hub, 5:30 p.m. And it's been a great conversation. Really happy with how everything came together, and really excited about the weeks ahead. So you can use the same link to register for the next one, or of course we'll send you some email reminders. And thank you all for your time, and I hope you have a great week of training and auditioning and recording voiceover. Okay?
Hey,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Take care.
See you
Thank you
tomorrow.
so much.
All right.
Bye.